What is up, guys? Technical Tinkers here, checking in on our little 3D print operation for today. I'm just vlogging today because I've got a lot of 3D print stuff going on, and I know normally I start the vlogs, I'm in uniform, I'm in the print garage area, try to keep it prim and proper, but I'm just kind of going for it because I feel like you like the intimacy. Anyway, what have I got going on today? You can see over here the A1's going on a little something, a little ditty, and doing a lot of different trying dedicated videos because the vlog is more of like, you know, the holistic approach to 3D printing, 3D print YouTubing, which that's where the money is. Shh, don't tell anybody. The actual money's in media. Working on a lot of different videos here, namely like the new Ultimate Pen Cup, and I'm not going to drone on about it because I know I talk about that thing ad nauseum, but I've got the upgraded final version here, and I did another content on it, but for vlog viewers, depending on whenever that comes out, it came out really pimp. So with the fan controller, the spot for the pens, the USBs, all that kind of stuff, I'm working on that and I'm trying to script it. You know, I fed my script into an AI chat bot, and I was like, can you make this to where people will watch it and I'll get a lot of subs so I can get more money? And so it did that and it spat it out. And so I'm trying to try that approach for media versus just kind of winging it, just to see what works. Not trying to commit myself to it, but I've got all the iterations of the Ultimate Pen Cup, you know, Ultimate Pen Cup, the Ultimate Desk Hub Lite, the final version. Additionally, I was working on another video for Reality Scan. Holy Toledo, that is an amazing program. Someone mentioned that in the comments. I think Mr. Crab mentioned it as well. Shout out to Mr. Crab, my guardian angel wearing jeans. So the drone shots where I took for my property, I've been working on my property thing and doing it by hand. I fed the drone video into Reality Scan and it spat out, you know, obviously this where the finger is, that's actually like a sandworm. I missed a spot. But the level of detail from a quick and dirty drone pass over my unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. So I'm gonna keep working on that. Additionally, last vlog I had mentioned I was doing a K-pop Demon Hunters short, and it's by far my best performing piece of media ever in 24 hours. So I'm doing another one over here on the A1. You see I've moved things around a little bit. I've got my little boom here because I am doing the upgraded time lapse, the one that's filmed on the phone that uses the shutter button over here to make better looking time lapses, but it's malfunctioning, and I think it's because when I printed this, I printed it with kind of like dog shit settings. So I'm printing a fine version here at a 0.12 layer height just to see if that's the issue. So wanted to get a nicer result there. Gonna be working on that, and that kind of necessitated something else. Let's head into the garage and take a look at that. Oh, here's the bird. I don't know if you saw this short. So his name is Sussy, I came to find out. Lots of people commenting. K-pop Demon Hearts is so good. The bird, very cool character. I'm gonna give that to my niece when I see her next. All right, so making our way into the 3D print area. There's a lot of things I'd like to accomplish in here today because the weather's not great. Kind of recovering from some injury. So it's a good day to kind of work in here a little bit. But one thing I wanted to highlight that I'm gonna be working on, and I'd love to know what your thoughts and opinions are on it. Let's turn the camera around. I can't stand not seeing my own face in the content. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that you might notice like this guy doesn't dry his filament. How are you printing things if you're not drying your filament? Oh, did you have a print scrub? You gotta dry your filament, you gotta dry it. I notice a lot of people just don't even bother drying their film. Engineering stuff, sure. Nylon stuff, sure. Carbon fiber, this and that and the other, TPU. You gotta dry that stuff, but for PLA and PETG, I don't even bother because I just take it out of the pack and run it. You know, I'm not crazy about it, and I understand the benefit. I'm not going to fight anybody on it. I'm not going to try to convince you that it doesn't have, you don't have to do it. I just don't, because I don't see the performance lacking enough to where it's like, you know, for me to be doing that, especially with PLA, PETG and stuff like that. So my AMS 1 over here, just did a refresh on that. The AMS 2 here, every time I use it, I get a motor overloaded error. And it's always on these cardboard spools. So I'm like, you know, they're a little bit wonky. They're a little bit different than the Bambu spools. They don't have that clean edge. Sometimes they can be a little like deformed. So what I'd like to do is I cleaned everything out, changed all the tubes out, and what I'm going to do is I'm gonna de-lid these completely to where they're in the open air. Oh my God, the humidity. Again, for the 900th time, I've got AC running here. It is a garage, but it's insulated, walls are insulated. I've got a dedicated mini split in here that's oversized for it. It's about, I mean, sure, the garage door opens, it becomes humid, but it rapidly dries out. It's not that huge of a deal. I understand you could tell me all day, well, no, you're wrong. Like, I understand, I'm not gonna fight you on it, but I'm gonna de-lid the AMSs, and then I'm gonna print a riser so I can stack them, clean this up a little bit, and I can service it in and out. But on the heels of that K-pop Demon Hunter thing, I wanted to print this model, which is the Tiger. It's much more complex. It's gonna take a long time to paint in Bambu Studio. Someone calling me out on the last video when I said I was painting, because I don't paint stuff for real. I'm allergic to painting stuff, but in Bambu Studio, that's what I'm referring to, painting it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to take these colors and spools, and I'm gonna transfer them onto Bambu spools. So I'll probably have to print a few of those. I need to print a riser for the AMS so I can stack them. I'm gonna probably bring out the Cobras for that. Maybe even the Soval if I have the time or patience to, like, you know, reconfigure it and give it some love. I'm gonna be working on that, cleaning things up in here, reorganizing a little bit, throwing stuff away. Before we roll that time lapse and kick it over to the rest of the video, on the Orangestorm Giga, so in the last vlog, I was showing everyone the Griffin statue that I'm printing for my driveway. Womp, womp. So I started printing it here in PETG. I had it already loaded up, and it did fail. It failed because of the Infinity Flow S1. It was actually my brain dead error, because the Infinity Flow S1, little known fact here, you actually have to push the filament in for the next spool to be able to pick up. And so I was recalling back to when I was swapping out the spool, I didn't want to feed the replacement spool in before the next spool grabbed and started feeding down the tube. And so what I did is I loaded it up and I just put it in here barely, thinking, okay, once it picks up and gets this spool going, then I'll push this one down and walk away and live my life. But I went off to do something else, and because I have ADHD, millennial brain, too many, not enough attention span brain, completely forgot to do it. So I came in here this morning, this one hadn't loaded up. Not the Infinity Flow S1's fault, just being stupid. But I do like to extract data from failed prints whenever possible, so I left it on here so we could take a look together, you and me, buddy. This is in PETG, no infill, 3 wall loops, and this is about 20-something inches high. It's got a shortened base from the original model, so it will fit on my driveway post, which is about 6 inches. I'm gonna have to make a fluted sort of flange for it to lock in to it, but I was worried about the overhang. So let's take a look here. So I was worried with only 3 wall loops, no infill, this interior overhang, whatever I call it. Is that 3? Yeah, it's 3 wall loops. I was worried about this giving me that separation like I've had in so many of the prints on the Giga when I don't use enough wall loops and I don't use enough infill. But this is actually looking pretty tits, dude. I mean, it's looking solid. Obviously I have to paint this, and this is the concept, because I was talking about doing one in concrete. I can't put concrete on top of my posts. That's insane. If I did a smaller, something on the ground, I would do it in concrete, but I would do that one real big. This is for the top, and Griffins are made to be up high, not on the ground. So I was gonna print this in PETG, probably coat it in resin or something, maybe even not, maybe just paint the hell out of it with like a bronze colored paint. But this shortened base, and it being, you know, it ended up being like that high, it's a pretty good size. So I'm impressed with this, and I think it's gonna work out. I just, you know, that's a bummer that it went that far. It's only 2 kilos of filament, and I've got plenty of PETG left, so I might just go ahead and load it up. Let's just load it up and start it again. I gotta tell you, look at that. That's PETG, clean as a whistle. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna do that because I need to print the AMS riser on the Giga. No other printer will fit it, and I don't want to print it in parts. So I'm gonna leave the Giga alone for now. But what we can do is clean up this I mean, look at this. Look at the state of this place. Stuff on the floor. I can't operate like this. Organize filament a little bit. I think I'm gonna nuke this rack and just kind of put these spools over here. You know, if you remember back when I got that giant order of filament, that's why I got that rack, but I got plenty of room down there. So let's just tidy up, dude. All right, so we're tidied up a little bit, changed, you know, some things around, just organized generally, kind of make things look a bit better. So the next thing I want to work on is that riser unit for the AMSs. This, I need about 12 inches of clearance, and I'll delid this one in the back. It will sit on top right here. I won't need these little U-line bins for it to sit on. You can bring it forward, look a little bit nicer. But it's in 2 parts, so let's go and fuse it together. And as is standard, every 20 minutes, a dog wellness check. Are you well? Okay, thanks. All right, just in case you want to see the workflow, let's go ahead and this is how I download things and then modify them to fit. So this is off printables. It's the AMS riser, but I need to 1, fuse it together, and 2, make it at least rise up 12 inches. So I've got to extend on this plane. I might just literally fuse it together and then stretch it. We'll see if that works. All right, so I think I got something workable here. I fused the 2 sides together and just cut out the middle. It's upside down, obviously. And just put a couple support bars here. So I'm worried about it sagging out, like the weight comes down and it makes it sag outwards. But these bars should hold it in place. Also, it kind of clips into the AMS, so. Anywho, got it over here in Orca. I'm just gonna do 3 wall loops and 10%. It's gonna eat a lot of filament, you know, 1,700 grams, almost 2 kilos. But, you know, want it to be strong. It's got a wide layer width as well. So 3 loops I think is gonna be fine. So let's go throw it on there. All right, let's make sure we actually have this on. There we go. So you can watch it going down the tube. This thing works pretty good when you do it the right way. All right, we are 5x5, all loaded up, 2 spools. I'm gonna click this here and send it on its way. All right, 24 roughly hours later, it's the next day. We've got our AMS stand. It's due in 4 hours and looking pretty good. Let's take a looky-loo here. Uh-oh. I should never say anything looks good. So I'm not sure how good you can really see this. I don't want to take this off and like drop the temperature immediately. But those support arms that I have, they're about to meet up. They're like 2 millimeters away, but the quality on them's getting a little sketch, and I think it's because the print head is like making them wobble. Probably should have put a little support bar halfway up. But it looks like it's gonna meet up, and this thing is thick enough to where I'm pretty confident in its ability to hold the weight of a full AMS, because it's not just the AMS, it's the filament too. So, you know, that's 4 kilos, that's 8.8 pounds of filament, plus the spools, plus the AMS that'll be stacked up. Flashforge has been going nonstop since yesterday, making bamboo spools. So why am I making so many bamboo spools? Stop, pause. Everyone's gonna say, oh, you know you can just print the rings that clip onto the cardboard spools. I know, and I've tried it, man. But I've had limited success with those. The thing is, here in my AMS, I don't even know if I mentioned it in the previous part of the video, doing a service on it, because the AMS motor kept getting overloaded and it was always cardboard spools. I think I did mention that. So my thinking is I want 100% not bamboo filament, but bamboo-esque spools in here. These, you know, hard plastic ones, just so it's a little easier on the motor. Because I've got something I need to print on the P1P, and I can't really afford for it to be stopping 800 times and me resuming it because of the AMS motor. It's a print that requires both AMSs to work. You're saying to yourself, whatever could you be printing? So yesterday I was talking about, yesterday for me, first part of the video for you, dear viewer, I was talking about the bird that I had printed for K-pop Demon Hunters. Sort of a, and this is more of the YouTube thing, chasing trends, doing more shorts because those have, you know, a lot of potential. They don't make any money. Shorts don't make any money unless you get like millions of views. But my thinking is that they maybe are good to get more subscribers, because if more people subscribe, that means sponsors pay me more when they want me to do a video on something. And then if they pay me more, that means I can put more money back in to YouTube to get more subscribers, which means I can command higher. You see the idea here. It's a compounding effect. That's my strategy and kind of been my strategy for a long time. So the short of this here Magpie is actually going decently gangbusters. I'm not sure where it'll end up, and it seems like every time a project does well, as soon as I talk about it doing well, that's when it stops doing well. But yesterday it was like 20,000, and I think right now it's at like 70,000. It's been getting like 1,000 views an hour for the past day, you know, more or less, up and down, but it's right at 70,000. It's by far and away the best piece of content I've ever made. And that's not because the content's very good, it's because K-pop Demon Hunters is very, very popular right now. So I'm trying to capitalize on that. I posted another one this morning of Genu here. Go and check my shorts. He's a character from the movie. So neat print, multicolor print. And if you saw the short, you might have noticed that the time lapse sucked. I can't do the fancy smooth time lapsing on a multicolor print. It's you can only do it from the A1's camera. You can't use supplemental cameras because that trigger switch is triggered every time the print head comes to home, which you set up to do on purpose, but it also does it every time it flushes. And so the time lapse for it was just completely wrecked. I looked up, you can do it, but you know, most people that are doing this are importing hundreds, thousands of images, and then they're collating them you know, as a movie, and they're manually going through for multicolor prints and removing the ones where the print head came back to flush. I'm not sure I'm really willing to do that, all that just yet. But aside from that, I want to do another character. The tiger here, it has more than 4 colors. So I need both AMSs on the P1P. I'm going to set up a time-lapse camera in there, but it's not going to be a smooth time-lapse. But for the colors, I've got to find the colors for the tiger. And that tiger is a weird shade of blue, and I thought about going with the purple here. It's not gonna work, it's not blue enough. But I did find Panchroma from Polymaker. Thanks, Polymaker, for sending this over. This was the blue color I was gonna use for my little property project, but I'm gonna use it for the tiger. If you want some Polymaker, check out the link in the description below. Every time I've used it, it's good. Back when I printed the giant bullets, or the bunker buster. I've printed lots of different stuff with Polymaker filament before, and it's always performed very nice. And so I was very happy that they sent some over. They just said, yeah, just mention it's Polymaker if you use it. And so that's exactly what I'm doing. So I already did this, but I need to spool this here Polymaker onto a bamboo spool, or a plastic spool. So what you're gonna do is pretend that there's still filament on here and that I didn't already do this to prove that it worked before going and investing time and talking about doing it. So I printed this little clamp. This goes into a spool that you want to put filament on, and it's got a little 1/4-inch hex here that you can load onto a drill. Glad I have a drill and a driver. Most people just have a driver these days, but I'm a brush drill kind of guy. I'm not. This thing is heavy as hell. Anyway, I'm gonna load this. So I'm gonna take one of my plastic spools here, load it on, and then just hold it. And then I'm gonna take the full spool, because again, this has a lot of filament in it because you're using your imagination. I'm gonna put it in the bamboo roller, and I'm gonna put a towel here in the bottom. That way, if it's spinning and it gets any momentum, what you don't want to happen is it to just spin freely, because then the spool's gonna unwind. You need something for it to like abrade against, some kind of friction break, I guess you could say. And then previously I tried that big contraption that, you know, neatly took the filament back and forth so it would evenly wind on the spool. And well, I'm gonna pretend to do it, but I already did it. I just held this and kind of guided it back and All right, do the pretend thing where I'm winding the spool. Ta-da! Oh, look, here's my full spool of filament. So you can see it's not like a neat wind, but it's perfectly, this is not gonna cut, there's no way this is gonna cause a problem. So it's on a plastic spool, so I now can load this in the AMS. This is the main color for the tiger. There's some other ones too, like some oranges, and I think I have a matte bamboo orange, so that works out good because I can just put that right on a bamboo spool. So I'm gonna load that up, time-lapse the tiger. He's a popular character, he's a beloved character from the show. and make another short with that, hopefully get more subscribers that way. That's the plan anyway, just to let you know, my normal vlog viewers kind of behind the scenes is like, why is he doing that? Because it's nice for me to talk about, you know, I just want to help the community and what I mean, I love the community. I love all of you guys, but I'm trying to get more subscribers to ultimately get more money. Because I'm almost at the year mark, and I told myself if I didn't get to certain benchmarks by certain times, then I would just pack it up. Because I've said many times before that, you know, I have no problem cutting bait on projects. But I'm pretty close. This is going pretty well, and it's picking up steam. So I'm confident in that. But, you know, this is a good strategy because most people like short form content now. I know I do. I consume more short form content than I do long form content. So I'm going to keep going that, strike while the iron's hot, maybe chase a few more trends. Let me know in the comments what other trends you think might work out. On in my world with 3D printing currently, love to know what you think about all this or that strategy. You know, I know you guys are watching and consuming YouTube and you're not doing it, but, you know, plant yourself, empath yourself into my shoes for a minute. And let me know what you think about that strategy, kind of exploring, chasing trends and stuff like that, if you think it's a viable sort of thing. Because even if you're not, you know, in the media sort of thing, you know, there's certainly an entrepreneurial sort of angle and slant to that. You could think maybe if you could think about that strategy and be like, well, yeah, I guess that could work, or no, you're stupid, dude. Continue long form and just gain subs slowly for the next 10 years and do it that way. But I ain't got that kind of time, man. I'm going to die soon. So let me know what you think about all those things. I'm just midlife crisising right now. Let me know what you think about all those things in the comments below. Let me know what project you think was cool or not, or let me just say something in the comments. Appreciate all you guys. Be sure to like the video because it's a nice thing to do, and of course subscribe for more content like this. I'm The Technicals. See you next time.